Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Hard Count Football Podcast Live. My name is Jacob Charnow, leading the next generation of football fans live on the Hard Count Football YouTube channel and right here on Bucs Report. Tonight, we are joined with Rick Hughes of What's Cooking in the South and live from the cheap seats to talk some football with us. We have our Super Bowl set. Super Bowl 55. Our matchup is set. And with that, let's get right into it. So, starting off, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have taken down the Green Bay Packers 31-26 and have locked themselves into the Super Bowl. The first ever home team to be playing in their home stadium in the Super Bowl. There's a few things that I want to talk about, with both these games and all four of the teams involved. First, I think we can settle this Brady versus Belichick argument, right? This debate, it can be settled right now. Brady made it to another Super Bowl. Brady basically said, just screw it, and just picked another team and went to the Super Bowl with him. It was just a random team. He was like, I'm going to go to Tampa. And then he went to Tampa, and now you guys are in the Super Bowl. It's kind of amazing. But Belichick didn't even make the playoffs, right? There was no the Patriots contended for maybe a week or two towards the end of the year, but it was nothing significant. Nobody really expected them to make the playoffs. Tom Brady, I understand that his actual stats weren't the best while he was in New England those last few years, but this year he's been great. And the main reason that his stats weren't great was because they were a defensive-minded team over in New England. He didn't have the opportunity to do what he's doing in Tampa. They didn't entrust in him to throw the ball this many times, to do what he's doing now, to find all these weapons. He didn't have the weapons that he has now in Tampa. And now as soon as he does, he's a top 8 quarterback. People don't like talking about Tom Brady in that top 10 conversation, but he absolutely is. There is no doubt in my mind that Tom Brady's a top 10 quarterback. He's higher than a top 10 quarterback. That's insane, right? But I'm going to say it was Brady, plain and simple. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be playing against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, who beat the Bills 38-24 in their game. And this is certainly going to be a challenge. But here's what I'm going to say about the Bucs. The Bucs should be healthy for this game, right? Getting guys like Antoine Winfield back, Antonio Brown back, and hopefully Jordan Whitehead. I mean, he's been good towards the end. He's been good in the playoffs. If you guys have all those, you're going to have a fully healthy team. The Chiefs will not. The Chiefs are going to be missing their left tackle, their Pro Bowl left tackle, Eric Fisher, which is a huge hit for this team. You can't be missing your star left tackle. Look what happened with Green Bay, right? Shaq Barrett basically ate Aaron Rodgers for breakfast because they were missing that left tackle. It's huge. The Chiefs, they're still the Kansas City Chiefs. They still have an explosive offense, and this is going to be a huge challenge, obviously, because this is probably the best team in the NFL you're playing against. And it's gonna be a tall challenge, but I'm almost confident that the Bucs are gonna win this game. I don't want to say that now, and I know Bucs fans, you're like, there's no way we win this game, right? We're the Bucs, because you still have that mindset in the back of your head of there's no way we can win anything. Guess what? I like the Bucs in this game. They're not favored, but I think they will end up winning the game. They're just a more complete team right now than the Chiefs, which is something crazy to say, but even with Tyreek Hill, even with Travis Kelce, even with Patrick Mahomes, you guys still have Tom Brady, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, Rob Gronkowski. It feels like we need to remind you of that every single time you play any good team, that you guys are a good football team. And I know it's crazy, but you guys are in the Super Bowl. You get to play your Super Bowl in Tampa. Imagine winning the Super Bowl in Tampa in front of your fans and like 7,500 nurses. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. And if Tom Brady can get that 7th ring, like I was talking about, there is no way that there's no way you can come back with this Belichick argument. Belichick's a great coach, but Belichick didn't create the system. Brady wasn't playing in the New England system. Tom Brady was the system in New England. Moving on, and then with the Packers, you guys beat the Packers. I want to talk about this just a little bit. Aaron Rodgers' future in Green Bay, this has been a big story. He said it's uncertain, like a lot of the other guys on that team. And I would be surprised to see him leave this season. I just think he's going to want more money, and that's going to be the story of the offseason. Is going to be Aaron Rodgers wants more money, and they'll pay him because I think the Packers CEO came out today and was like, he's staying. And Aaron Rodgers was on the Pat McAfee show today, and he said, I don't understand. Like, I don't see why I wouldn't be here next year. It seems like, his words got twisted a little bit in that press conference, so I don't think he's going to end up going anywhere, but I think that he will end up playing somewhere else in his career before it's over. I still think it's going to be San Francisco. I can't not see it being San Francisco. The Bills, the Bills are going to be contenders for years to come. I don't even want to hear about the Bills are such a good team. And if Josh Allen can be more consistent, because you see his games and it's just kind of like a roller coaster with all the goods and bads. But this team can be dangerous, right? I mean, with this coaching staff and all this talent, they're going to be good for a while, right? They're going to be contenders year after year. This is going to be a team that the Chiefs are going to have to face multiple times. The Bills are, I promise you that they're going to be in a Super Bowl within the next 5 years. They are such a talented team. And Josh Allen, I was so wrong about Josh Allen before this season. He is such a talented quarterback, and he's going to, like I said, he's going to be dangerous for the next 5-10 years. And now, before we get Rick in here, I'm going to address this Deshaun Watson stuff in depth a little bit because I didn't get to last weekend. Some more stuff has come out. Okay. So the rumor is that Deshaun Watson wants out of Houston. And I absolutely believe that this part is true, right? I think he's had enough of ownership, Jack Easterby, and everything going on in this organization. There's a great article that Sports Illustrated wrote about all this dysfunction going on in this Texans organization. And I think you should absolutely go check it out. It's a great read. But the Texans have no future, no draft picks, no cap space, and no talent on that team going into next year besides Deshaun Watson and J.J. Watt, who both probably won't be on the team next year anyway. The problem with trading Deshaun Watson is this. There aren't enough teams that can give an offer for Watson that wouldn't set their teams back a bunch, or teams that could even afford him. The only two teams that I believe can give a worthy offer for Deshaun Watson are the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets. Those are the only two teams. Now, what I'm hearing is that those are his two preferred destinations, with the Jets being one and the Dolphins being two. I don't know how true these are, so I'll take them with a grain of salt because, we don't know really. I heard some of these sources aren't necessarily the most reliable, but then you hear from guys like, Ocho Cinco, and you hear today Tony Jefferson, like, go to the Jets. You hear these guys being like, he wants to go to the Jets. And you see Allen Robinson tweeting out things, you should go to the Jets. Like, guys in the league, Richard Sherman, you should go to the Jets. Like, this is insane. I think it's hilarious. But because I would never expect anybody to be like, the Jets are a team that I want to go to. I want to play for the New York Jets. It's new to me. It's crazy. It's not something I'm used to. I'm sure you Bucs fans too. You're like, wait, Gronk, Tom Brady wants to play for us? You're like, Gronk? Leonard Fournette, what? And Leonard Fournette, I'm sure, is extremely happy. Everyone's criticizing him when he left Jacksonville, and I mean, now Jacksonville's 1-15 and in a spot where I don't even know how they're going to be able to recover from this. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in the Super Bowl, so I think it's just hilarious. But that's kind of what's going through my head there. And listen, those are the Dolphins and the Jets are the only two that make sense. And even then, I can't see the Dolphins going after him with the way this rebuild has been going, with the way they've been doing this rebuild. They have all these draft picks, and to draft Tua with the 5th overall pick just last year and then give up on him after he played like 7 games or whatever, it seems just unlikely. I doubt they really do that. I think they're going to use it as a driving point. I think Houston's going to use Miami as a driving point to make the Jets offer even higher. But the Jets just make so much sense, right? Because if Deshaun actually wants to play there, then I don't think the Jets are going to have to give up some monster offer for him. Right? Some of these offers I'm hearing are like 4 first-rounders and Quinnen Williams, and it's just that's not going to happen. It's not needed, right? Deshaun's not going to play. Deshaun Watson will not be playing for the Houston Texans next year. Please understand that. Like, he will sit out if he doesn't get traded. He won't go to practice. He won't go to OTAs. He won't go to meetings. He's not going anywhere. Houston has no leverage over Deshaun Watson. But just because they paid him, so what? He'll sit out. He doesn't care. The Jets have a ton of cap room. They have the picks to do it. And an owner who likes big name quarterbacks. Woody Johnson is now once again the active owner of the New York Jets. And he likes these big name quarterbacks. We've seen it in the past. I get it isn't like Joe Douglas to trade away picks, but Joe Douglas also hasn't had an opportunity for a guy like Deshaun Watson. And I think that's very important here. They also have those Seattle first rounders from the Jamal Adams trade. So even if they have to give away first rounders, they'll most likely have at least one within the next 2 drafts. So here's the offer I came up with, right? I doubt the Texans will want Sam Darnold. They are probably going to want either Zach Wilson with that number 2 pick. So this is what should happen. Sam Darnold gets traded to the Colts for a 2nd and a 5th round pick. That's what I'm hearing his value is at right now. I think that's a fair offer for him. A 2nd and a 5th rounder. Then that leave. All right. And then you give up their first rounder this year. The Jets give up the first rounder this year, their first rounder next year, and the 2nd and 5th round pick they got for Darnold to the Texans for Deshaun Watson. So that's 2 first rounders. That's a first rounder this year, a first rounder next year, and then basically the picks you get for Sam Darnold to get Deshaun Watson in the building. And I think that's a fair offer, and I think the Texans will take that. I think they realize the situation that they're in, and they just need to move on. Right? Then, because listen, here's why. That leaves the Texans with first round picks for the next 2 years. The Jets still have those Seattle first rounders, and the Texans can start the rebuild with their new GM, and the Jets get arguably a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. On top of that, the Jets have Robert Saleh as their head coach, who Deshaun has said on multiple occasions that he wants to play for. Right? It makes too much sense for the Jets to not pull the trigger on this offer. You have to do it if you're Joe Douglas. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to announce a few things. So number 1, in the near future, prepare for the first Hard Count Football Mock Draft 1.0. It's coming very, very soon. Get ready for it. I have to say that because I saw Mel Kiper's first draft today, and it was atrocious. And I don't think I've seen a mock draft worse than this in mine. He had Devontae Smith going at number 2 to the Jets. I just cannot understand it. And what I'm going to do right now is after we're going to get to some of these comments, then I'm going to get Rick in here because he's been waiting very patiently in the lobby. We're going to appreciate that. All right, here we go. Let's go some of these. Buckstime says, what's up? What is up? Johnny says, Brady went to the league's worst win percentage to prove his point. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. That's a great graphic. That's insane, isn't it? That the Bucs had the worst win percentage. They have the worst win percentage. I think it's in any sport, any professional sport. They were the worst. And that's insane. And now you guys are in the Super Bowl. Congratulations for that. Yakin says, what's up? Matthew says, anything can happen with Brady. Yes, I completely agree. Real Bucs fans know this is the team that Jameis built. These guys, we got Brian Pearson in the chat. A real Saints fan notices is fake. I don't know what that means. Ryan says, beat the Packers twice. Yes, you did. You really did beat the Packers twice. That's you guys beat the 1 seed twice. Enjoy that. The matchup is like the Packers. Chiefs are rated similar to the Bucs on offense, but weaker on D. We got to play physical on D and hit Mahomes. I said this before. I said it's going to come down to defense, and the Bucs just have a much better defense than the Packers did, and that's where they won. Johnny says the story of the offseason is going to be the Jets with the Watson storyline and the Jags with 1,000 draft picks. Boy, I hope the Jets get Deshaun Watson. That's all I can say there. Brian says the Saints are going to be the dangerous team. Have fun with your $90 million over the cap. Like you're not going to be dangerous to anybody except your owner's wallet. Yakin says, let's go Saints. Matthew says, Josh Allen is my favorite player in the league. He's so fun to watch and likes to throw deep. Man, he's a great player. Josh Allen is really growing on me, even as a Jets fan. I love watching Josh Allen play, and he's got a big arm. I mean, the way he just flicks it and it goes like 80 yards is just ridiculous. Matt says, we saw this year what tools Jameis had to make him great, but he couldn't stop the turnovers. Brady showed how good this team is when you throw 20 fewer interceptions. Yes, exactly. Dominic says, I want to join. We'll see if I have time at the end of the show. I'll send out the link, but I certainly just want to talk to Rick today. JJ Watt has asked for and been given permission to be traded. That is good for JJ Watt. He deserves to, listen, the Buccaneers. Listen, if you guys, I know I'm getting ahead of myself here already, but if you guys can't get Shaq Barrett back, JJ Watt's certainly an option here. Brian says, thank you to, oh my God. All right. Bucks are signing Watson. Oh God. Okay. We'll just move on from that one. Lenny Fournette was a key player. He's been a key player in all your wins in the playoffs so far, hasn't he? He's been great. Matt says, you guys are fools. You are a fool too. T-O-O, Brian. I see Miami being a better spot for Stafford. Listen, I'm going to talk about this with Rick in a little bit. So Johnny, just hold on. I'll answer that in a little bit. Ooh, Brian says, Matt Colson, you guys are lucky you made it to the Super Bowl. Just take a look at it. All right, cool. Beat the Saints, beat the Packers, and now you're in the Super Bowl. You beat Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees. We beat your team. by a nice margin. Johnny says Jets will draft Travis Etienne with the 23rd pick. I like Travis, Najee Harris, or J.C. Horn, the corner. I like him. Let's go, mock draft. Look forward to it. Brian says, what do you think about Jacksonville Jaguars' new coach and maybe a good quarterback in the draft? I've talked about this. I like the Urban Meyer hire. And we'll see what happens with Trevor Lawrence. I don't want to get too ahead of myself there. Yeah, I was seriously thinking Bucks for JJ. It's a good offer. Misador says, Misador, I think this is the first time you've commented on my show. Welcome. If I were the Bucks GM, I'd offer this year's 3rd and 4th for Darnold. No, not now. Not now. You have at least a year left in Tom Brady. Mock. Brady has the highest win percent in NFL history, so he should average up the Tampa Bay win percentage for a few years. That's a good way to think about it. Wouldn't hurt to have him rushing off the edge. Absolutely not. What happens to McCoy? I don't think anybody. Bucks fans, do you guys really care what happens to Shady? I mean, you guys have Keyshawn Vaughn, you have Ronald Jones, you have Leonard Fournette. I don't think it really matters what happens with LeSean McCoy. He wanted to go. Good for him if he can win a ring. I think he's ring chasing at this point. We'll see what happens. But now, let's get Rick in here. Rick
hey.
Hughes.
Hey, Shady McCoy got one last year.
He did. Oh, right. He was on the Chiefs.
Yeah. He pulled that one off last year. Hey, I want to back you up on something that you said that you brought up earlier, and I think you were making a very, very good point about when you're talking Brady and Belichick. I want to point something out. For the first time since 2007, the Bucks made the playoffs. Right? Tom Brady throws 40 TDs. The Bucks go from 7-9 to 11-5. 11-5 without Belichick, a 68% win percentage, right? Now the Patriots missed the playoff for the first time since 2008. Now let's say you want to say, well, they had a lot of opt-outs, which were all on defense. So, okay, let's say they lost some games because of the defense, and that's why. All right, let's go with that. Explain this. The Patriots quarterback threw 10 touchdowns this year. Brady threw 40. Okay, the Patriots didn't have opt-outs on offense, and they have a better offensive line this year than they had last year with Brady. The Patriots go from 12-4 last year with Brady to 7-9 this year. The Bucks went from 7-9 to 11-5. Bill Belichick's record without Tom Brady is 56-70, a 44% win percentage without Brady.
Listen, this is something that we've been talking about, me and you especially, extensively for the last couple of months. Listen, I understand. No one is denying Bill Belichick's greatness as a defensive coach,
right?
Because the fact that he came in with all these opt-outs, because they had all these opt-outs on defense, and that's hard to work with a bunch of starters, right?
Yep.
Chung, Dante Hightower, guys who would help this defense a lot. They still finished with, I think a top 15 defense in the league, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah.
So they finished in the upper half of the league without half their defense, let's say.
Right.
This offense, besides Brady, they only upgraded.
No,
they only upgraded. They have that stud right tackle, or I forgot his name, Onwenu.
Right. The offense, the O-line is better, and they still threw 10 touchdown passes.
10 touchdown passes the entire season.
Brady did that there are several times you could pick out 3 games, and he's got that many.
I don't want to I don't want to hear the whole, Cam was it was a running team. How many touchdowns did Lamar Jackson? Someone in the chat, how many touchdowns did Lamar Jackson throw this year? I'm genuinely curious, because I don't want to hear the whole, Cam was a rushing quarterback. Cam Newton was not good. Apparently Bill Belichick thought he had this Cam thing set up for a while. This wasn't a backup thing where it was, we missed out on Nick Foles and we got Cam Newton. This Cam thing was something he had in mind for clearly a while.
Touchdowns 26 this year.
Right. 16 more. Like, that's insane. That is ridiculous.
That's 1 per game.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I just can't understand it, right?
I mean, look, and Bill Belichick is the GM, correct?
Yes.
In New England. Name the last guy drafted for the Patriots that was a stud. The last big draft pick developed.
I cannot. The last one, I mean, I guess
maybe there's some defensive players.
Oh,
he's fine.
He's had some good defensive picks,
Right.
but I can't.
He's lived on solely on the guys coming in to New England to
Yes.
carry the team.
Randy
That's what has carried the Patriots. And anybody who says, "Well, the Bucks did that," you want to talk about Vita Vea? Look what he did.
Talking about a quarterback away.
Right. You want to right, you want to talk about, I mean, really, you want to talk about that. I mean, there are so many people that Jason Light was behind the drafting of that are
Mike
now,
Evans.
they're the guy. They're the guy.
Mike Evans, besides Brady, Gronk, and Antonio Brown, and Leonard Fournette.
Shady
Shady, sorry, yeah.
But the whole defense,
it's mainly the Bucks.
Yeah.
It's primarily the Bucks. I mean, Levante David, Devin White. Oh my God! Devin White he's easily a top 5 linebacker, and he might be the best linebacker in the NFL. He's riding that right now.
He's getting there.
he's disgusting. He is so
every game there's somebody new that's stepping up, and that's the fun part about what I think I see with the Buccaneers is every game there's somebody new, and what it tells me, it's sort of like what you used to see in New England. You know how it always sucks to draft Patriots in fantasy football because there's always something different, somebody else, somebody new.
Right. Yeah.
It's the Bucks now. The Bucks literally became the Patriots. And
Who is Scotty Miller?
Understand how insane that is for me to try to comprehend. You were talking about, like, as a Jets fan, you're like, I can't believe Deshaun Watson may want to come here. I still wake up and go, Brady is the quarterback of the Bucks.
Right.
I still do that. I mean, I still have to. What? Tom freaking Brady is. I mean, it's hard to connect, and that's what I love about Jets fans and Browns fans and Buccaneers fans. I give a lot of grief to Bucks fans, and there's a contingent that deserves it. Okay, but Bucks fans are loyal to a fault. Bucks fans are and Jets fans, if you're a Jets fan, doggone it, man. Much love. I feel you. Okay. Yeah. I've been there. I've lived through it. And, to sit here and with the Buccaneers, it's funny because they've got such a horrifying history. And also, they've already got a Super Bowl. This could be number 2. And I'm not saying that cocky. I'm saying that man, it's like when it's like dating a bipolar girl. I mean, it really is. It's like, it's both. There's one or the other. It's either fantastic or the cops are in the driveway. I mean, there's nothing in between.
Yeah, and I think one of the funniest stats that I've seen, I think it was Johnny or Matt that brought it up on your show, where it was like Tom Brady's more likely to make it to the Super Bowl than Steph Curry is to make a 3-pointer.
Yeah, and I've actually got a new segment coming up on my show called the Meme Grinder, and I've got that in a meme, and it's just awesome.
And I have one here where it says the New York Jets have won 153 out of 360 games since Tom Brady was drafted, which is a 42.5% win percentage. Tom Brady has made it to the Super Bowl 10 out of the 20 seasons he's played. So Tom Brady is more likely to go to the Super Bowl than the New York Jets are to win a football game. and that is, it's just embarrassing. Like how, oh God.
I wonder how many total playoff games. This would be a great stat. Somebody look this up. How many total playoff games, period, win, loss, AFC, NFC, I don't care. Total postseason games has Tom Brady played? This would be an interesting question because when you factor in the number that there is, and if somebody can find that stat, I would appreciate it. The total number of postseason games that Tom Brady has played. Because if you think about it in terms of there's 16 games in a season, you got to figure if he plays 3 per year, if he's averaging maybe 2 per year, let's say 2 per year, right? 44 total games.
Yes.
44. He's played 2.5 seasons just in postseason. 2.5 seasons just in postseason, almost 3 seasons of postseason football. I
That's
mean,
crazy.
when you look at a player's career and the grind on their body and things like that, and you start taking that into account, Brady has actually played the equivalent football as though he's almost 46 years old. I mean, that's the grind
listen,
on his body, and he's still working the guy, man.
And for people to still say that he's not the greatest quarterback of all time, if he can win a 7th ring with a new team.
Yeah. There is no way.
His first year.
Yeah, there's no way that you can, in any way, shape, or form. I always love it because people qualify. They say, Tom Brady, he's the GOAT, arguably. It's not arguably. There's nothing close. You can't compare it. He's got as many NFC championships as Drew Brees. He's got as many NFC championships as Aaron Rodgers. He's got as many, as Brett Favre. Come on.
And he's been in the NFC for 1 year.
Right.
A singular year versus Aaron Rodgers, he's been to 4 straight and lost 4 straight NFC championships.
Yeah. Now think of Jim Kelly losing 4 straight Super Bowls.
That's rough. That is rough.
I mean, to get there 4 times and to have that heartbreak. One of them because of a field goal barely going wide right.
Right. That's rough. Rick, I'm going to run the ads a little bit, and then we're going to come back and talk about this Bucs game because it was certainly a lot of fun to talk about. So, all right, cool. See you guys in a minute. And we are back. So, Rick, let's talk about this Bucs game a little bit, right? Right off, what did you think about this Bucs-Packers game?
Okay. And you and I talked about this. I felt good about this game going into it, which I actually felt guilty that I felt good going into the game because I felt like, and I do believe that the Buccaneers just match up well against the Packers. I don't believe that's the way it is against the Saints. I think, you play the Saints 10 times. They may best the Buccaneers more than the Bucs do the Saints. But the Packers, I think the way the teams are put together, they're tailor-made to play. The Bucs are tailor-made to play the Packers. And I think they would struggle a lot against the Buccaneers. Now, like I said, I felt guilty feeling good about that going into that game. Look, when I sat down and started watching the game, when they scored on their first possession, immediately it was like, holy cow, man, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. And when people talk about Brady throwing 3 interceptions, this is something I want to point out, and I haven't heard it talked about anywhere. I think timing of interceptions is a big, big deal. There were a lot of, if you remember last year, there were a lot of pick sixes. There were a lot of things that the Buccaneers had to deal with. And this year, if you're going to throw an interception, be up 28-10.
Right.
Okay. And have it to where, you're not giving your defense a short field every time. I mean, if some of those interceptions were more like punts. Not all of it. One was a tipped pass off of Mike Evans, but I guess what I'm trying to say is timing about it is also Brady knows when just to throw up a prayer, and I think that's part of the difference. Okay, it got picked off. It was a punt virtually,
right?
I think that plays into it a lot, and people just see the stats, and this is where stats can be deceiving because it's not just. And this is something I had never thought of until this week. It's not just whether or not you throw an interception. It's when you throw that interception and how you throw that interception. If you throw 3 picks deep in your own territory, one of them's a pick 6, that's one thing. You throw 3 picks when you're up 28-10 and they're deep, you're burying the other team deep. That's a whole different animal. And do I think it's okay to throw 3 picks? Oh, no. I don't want to see that again. Okay. I do not want to see that again. But I just think that factors into it, and it's how you're playing football. This is where Brady's strength comes in. It's all this. It's cerebral gameplay, and he physically the guy. Anybody who says he's not athletic, well, you're wrong. The guy's an Adonis when it comes to the kind of shape that he's in. Okay, so he's not fast, but don't say he's not an athlete. I saw a breakdown about body torque on a pass and how Brady still has like some, and I don't understand sports science, so let's not get too deep into this, but they were talking about the torque and the body torque that Brady still has on a ball and how it's still one of the greatest in the league.
Yeah.
And to me, that's amazing for a guy that age. You don't know this yet. Trust me, I got to bet it hurts me. And this guy, the way he's torquing his body and releasing the ball at that age, he's an athlete.
Yes.
So,
no, for sure. I mean, Brady is. It's just Brady hate. Brady hates because Brady gets hated because he wins.
Yeah,
that's it. That's why people don't want to see Tom Brady in another Super Bowl, and it's because we've watched him do it in New England for so long, and they've been the bad guys. And I don't know how Tom Brady went from being this awful, like this bad guy, like he was like Darth Vader, and now he's like he's now on the underdog team, and he took them from nothing to the Super Bowl. And I think the reason he did this, it was kind of like a middle finger to the Patriots, where it's like, what team can I go to with the most offensive weapons that are in need of a quarterback and has a veteran coach that I'm not really taking a chance with.
Right.
And he knew he could win with this team.
Well, I think everybody knew he could win with this team. Yeah, I think
because everybody, you look, because no one was looking at the Buccaneers, right? And as soon as Tom Brady goes, they're like, oh wow. I mean, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, right? Like Ronald Jones, and then this defense now too. Antoine Winfield's going to be a great pick, and it's wow, but this team's really in a good offensive line. Oh, this team's starting to add up. This team can win something.
Yeah,
Levante David, Devin White.
Yeah, and finding out, and by the way, everybody. I've been asked multiple times by people, do I think Brady's going to retire if they win the Super Bowl? I don't think there's a chance.
No. There is a less than a 0% chance.
Right. I don't think he's going anywhere. What I would say to Buccaneers fans, and I'm going to talk about this coming up on my show, I don't know about Arians. I don't know if Arians calls it quits if they win. I don't know. So, I mean, that's a whole different, and that's a whole different animal.
Are Bucs fans not ready for the Byron Leftwich head coach conversation? Or?
They better get ready because it's. I mean,
Todd Bowles
Arians is not there for more than another year or two. I don't think so.
No, I think that
he's ready for that conversation.
I think that realistically, he's there as long as Brady's there.
No, I don't think so.
But I don't. I haven't thought about that. That's an interesting
cancer survivor. COVID is out there. He wins. He's going to be like, dude, it has been fun. We did it. Bye.
Right. Yeah, he doesn't need to end on a 10-6 year where you lose in the divisional round. That's not what you need next year. That if you can retire on a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't
do it. Pull a Peyton.
Yeah, I don't think I think he'd retire on a Super Bowl. I don't think he would retire and then the Bucs. I don't think he'd wait until a 10-6 year. I can see him. It's far more likely. Look, Arians loves to be thought of as being cool. Okay. How cool would it be to just, all right, I'm done. I'm out.
So on the flip side of that, do you do a normal head coaching search? Do you guys just do the head coaching search? Like, no.
He's on staff. He's on the staff. Don't talk about it. It's not a discussion. It's Bowles or Leftwich. There's not going to be a discussion beyond that. It's going to be one of those two.
Todd Bowles. You guys don't want Todd Bowles to your head. I love Todd Bowles, and I think he's a fantastic defensive coordinator. Yeah. But he doesn't have that head coach. He doesn't have that head coaching aspect that Bruce Arians has. That is
Arians says Leftwich is the head coach in waiting, and he thinks. So I don't know. I don't know. You know what? I was so hard on Leftwich earlier.
I don't hate it at all.
Idiot. Now let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Here, I always talk about stupid things Bucks fans say. Here's 2 stupid things Buck hosts say. Okay. Number one, I was not, when Fournette was out there, I was saying the Bucks don't need him. Boy, was I wrong. Okay. Boy, was I wrong. Number 2, I was really hard on Leftwich earlier in the year. And even Donovan Smith, actually.
I think I think everybody was hard on Donovan Smith.
Well,
deservedly so, though, for the first half of the year, right? He was not good.
Yeah,
he really stepped it up in the second half of the season, and that's kind of when we started realizing. And then we started getting easier on him, where it's like, hey, you're not as bad as we thought, and then it's, hey, he's actually doing well. It's interesting. And listen, like Clay said, I'm ready for Byron. Just keep Bowles around and neuter him. I'm playing man. Yeah. Just as long as you keep Todd Bowles around, you keep this same offense. I don't see why you can't have a guy. I don't know any of your positional coaches that can move up to an offensive coordinator position. But
I don't. Well, okay. I can't claim to know who. I can tell you this. This coaching staff, it's the largest coaching staff in the NFL.
Oh, right. Don't you guys have like 4 coaches for like each player?
Yeah, it's insane how many coaches there are. So would I be shocked? I mean, they've got plenty. Don't worry about it. There's somebody who can step in and, I don't think that they'd miss much of a beat. I really don't. I think Brady, I think if Leftwich was the head coach and Brady is the quarterback, some offensive coordinator is the luckiest man alive. He just won the lottery.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No, for sure. Yakin says the Bucks are going to hire Greg Schiano. Neither Bowles or Leftwich are ready for that. If Arians retires, then no done. This team isn't going to be a dynasty. This is a team that's heyday is right now for the next 3 years. Now, for maybe a season after this, and maybe a season after, depending on what happens with Brady.
The defense is young, though, man. There are a lot of young players on the team.
Oh, absolutely. You guys are gonna have a great defense for a while, but it's the Brady dynasty is not going to be a thing. That's
the Brady dynasty is not. You're correct.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
You're correct. But look at the way quarterbacks are switching around now.
Oh, we're going to get to that in a little bit. But you guys forget that you guys would have beaten the Chiefs if it wasn't for that first quarter of that game, where they took you by storm. And
I know, but I can't do it. I can't. I stop it. Stop it. Listen, I feel exactly like I did 18 years ago, or I think they won 17 years ago. So, I mean, I feel exactly like I did then, where it's just like I just refuse to let my brain go there. I just can't. I can't imagine. I can't allow myself to imagine them winning the Super Bowl at home.
I'll tell you, like, I'll be pulling for the Bucks. I absolutely. All right. There is a long list of staff who can move up. Yeah. Glazers have loot. I don't like Arians loose lips, but we need him to make this work. Christensen would become the OC. Maybe, I don't know.
Oh yeah. Clyde Christensen. What am I thinking? Yeah, Clyde Christensen would step in and be the OC.
Okay,
absolutely, Johnny.
Brady saved everybody's behind. Wrong, guys. Brady dynasty is going to be a chance to win the Super Bowl for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. That's a little bit of a dynasty. You win 2 years in a row. Don't tell me that's not a dynasty. I mean Can you imagine? As a Bucks fan, this just hurts my head.
Yeah, really, let's not get ahead of ourselves there.
Genuinely hurts my head. Listen, okay, let's talk Jets for a quick second. All right,
let's do it. I can always do that.
The position that you're in as a Jets fan. Imagine this: 2 years ago, the Bucks were there. Okay, or not that long ago, the Bucks were there. Okay, they really were second and third in the draft. It's where they were. It was not long ago at all that they were there. They were fifth in the draft the year Arians came in. I think it was
2018,
or was it? Yeah,
when did Brady come in? Was he hired with Gase? Was he in that same coaching hire? With Adam Gase? Was he in that same coaching cycle?
When Brady got what?
When Arians got hired.
When Arians got hired. This is his second season.
Okay, so yes.
Okay, how many seasons did
Gase was here 2 years? Gase was here last year and this year.
Same time. Right.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I guess Yeah.
Yeah. So if they came in at the same time, I mean, I want you to understand that 2 years ago the Bucks were drafting 5th in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's how bad they were 2 years ago. Now, look at there's nothing the same about the franchise. So when it comes to the Jets, I want to say this to Jets fans, and I want to say it, and I mean it. Man, you have no idea how things can change and how fast things can change, and how, I mean, it can happen. Like if Deshaun Watson goes to the Jets, then all of a sudden, JJ Watt goes, I want to play with that head coach.
Mm-mm. Don't scare me like that.
Right?
I can't deal with this right now.
No, but now you know what I feel like every time you start talking about this game coming up.
Oh my god! Right, because it was me and Harry who were sitting here. We're like, yeah, like we both think the Bucks are gonna make it to the Super Bowl, and you guys were like, it was you, Tyler, and oh god, it was Matt and John. You guys were all like, don't talk about like,
just
don't
stop it, just stop it.
There's no like, stop it. Like, there's no way. There's no way. Oh, we have a great comment here coming in from Brian Pearson.
Brian Pearson.
Rick, here we go. Ric Flair became a 16-time world champion in pro wrestling. When your football team can win 16 Super Bowl titles, then you can talk to me. That will never happen. All right, I'm a big wrestling fan. Huge wrestling fan. Brian, I'm sorry. I don't know how long, if you watch wrestling, wrestling's not real.
It's fake.
It's scripted, right? I could, if I really wanted to, I could make my own wrestling federation and be a 16-time world champion and give the finger to Ric Flair and say, "Look at me." But I cannot.
You understand what you just did is like telling him that that Christmas guy isn't real. He's right now. He's at home. I can just picture him at home.
What? What? Liar! Yikes, it's Devin White. As always. Oh, I missed a comment there. I'm from Tampa, live in New York. Jets suck. Listen, I know. Devin White. Sam Darnold sounds like a diner chain. Jets dynasty. Stop it. I no. Expect a 3-year rebuild period unless you luck up and Brady goes there. Now that's the stupidest comment ever. What the F does wrestling have to do with this?
Right.
Buck Ric Flair.
Woo!
The Easter Bunny is fake. Stop it.
Stop it, man. There may be kids watching. There may be kids watching.
Stop it. Okay.
Jacob.
What?
It's like, oh no, Jacob's watching. Yeah. You just ruined it for Jacob.
God. Let me give you a body slam and see it. It's not okay, Brian. Brian. It's not fake. It's scripted. No one is. You don't need to give me a body slam to see how it feels. I know how a body slam feels, right? You just got to.
You can tell from that one picture you posted.
You tuck your
one time of you running. I guarantee you know what a body slam feels like because there's no way you were outrunning that one kid.
I'll try. Oh, I don't have that on my computer anymore. That was a great. I'll pull it up next week. Let me give you. All right, you just tuck your chin, land on your back. You spread out, exhale as you take the bump, and yeah, it doesn't hurt as much as you think it does. But it certainly doesn't feel good. Bet you still get tucked in, Brian. Stop it. We can't have my show also being Brian Pearson slander. This is not something. Super Bowl 55 score Dominic Bucks 2017 Chiefs. That's not no.
Keep going. Two more.
We need to read. Oh, here we go. If wrestling is not real, why do a lot of
right above that?
Oh, Sam Darnold has a great Reuben. If wrestling's not real, why do a lot of them wrestlers get hurt? That's Mick Foley. Got thrown off the top of the cage. He can't put his pants on. His wife has to help him out. Okay. Like I said, wrestling.
The outcomes
are predetermined.
Wait, what? Yeah.
This is crazy. And this is not, listen, this is not a wrestling show. I can't keep going into this because I'll start going off about it. But Brian, Mick Foley, one of the best of all time. It's not about it being, I don't know how you're comparing one to the other is what you're, Brian, if you want to have a conversation with me about wrestling, call in anytime. Just call me. You can text me, DM me on Twitter at Jacob Charno. We'll have a full conversation about wrestling. I really don't care. But yeah, Yakin says wrestling is real. A bunch of, would love to see Gerald McCoy come back next season.
Okay. So I'm on record with massive rants against Gerald McCoy. I would love to see Gerald McCoy come back as depth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Good
as
player.
depth.
He's a good player. It sucks he got hurt. It's real fake. Yes, exactly. William says no word on. Oh, I saw your comment. Sorry, William. I have no word on OJ. On OJ Howard. I don't know how he's going.
No, he's gone.
Yeah,
he's out.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure he's done. Oh, Johnny says Winfield should be good. Not knowing about Whitehead. Yeah, 2 weeks. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
McCoy and Von Miller go to the same ophthalmologist. All right, let's move it. Let's move around the NFL.
And that's where the similarities end.
Yes. All right. So Tom Brady wins 33 playoff games in his career, is what I saw. Matt Stafford has not won a single playoff game.
That's not Matt Stafford's fault, though.
It's not. And this is what I wanted. And let's get into this Stafford stuff, because Matt Stafford and the Lions have agreed to part ways and will seek a trade partner for Matt Stafford. And what I'm hearing, Niners, Colts, Jets are the three I'm hearing. The Jets are not a real option. It's just where he wants to go. And I think Washington is also a good option for him.
You would be just fine if you got Matt Stafford. With your draft, listen, if you could get Matt Stafford, because he'll come for a lot less than Deshaun Watson, and this guy's still really good and got a few years in front of him.
I don't want to be worried about quarterback again in 3 years, though.
No, you're not going to have to in 3 years. You might in 5 years, but you've got how many drafts? I mean, you've got how many? Oh my God! And you've got these draft picks. You can build your team so fast if you get a Matt Stafford, dude. And how fast quarterbacks are changing these days. Within 5 years, you're going to get somebody else.
He's great, but I think Stafford is our third option at this point, right? Because I think if it's either I think Watson's the one. There's no way he's not, just because he's in terms of talent and everything. You want Watson in the building. You go after, I think number 2 is Zach Wilson in the draft, and I think 3 is Stafford or someone else, and whatever.
I would take Stafford in a heartbeat.
If he was a free agent, I'd say yes, but you still have to trade for him.
No, I understand, but you're not going to have to give up that much to Detroit to get him. Definitely. And then you get to keep those draft picks, and you got to learn to value those things, man, because if you can keep a lot of those, imagine every one of those is a starter.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Absolutely. No, I know. And you get I know it's tough. I can't think about it. I'll get into it. I'll get into a lot more. Dominic,
a few years from now, Rodgers is, probably not this year, but a year or two, Rodgers is going to go somewhere. You don't know who else is going to be leaving somewhere a few years down the line.
Yep.
Man, you don't have to draft a quarterback anymore.
And think about this quarterback carousel this year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. The amount of, I think it's like 8. I think Schefter said like 18 different teams are going to be looking for a quarterback, are going to be in a quarterback market.
It was the exact opposite of last year. Because last year, going into this season, everybody looked like, okay, we're good at quarterback for a few years. And now it's like, what the heck just happened?
You're done. You're done. All right. Dominic says Washington Wizards versus Houston Rockets. I don't know basketball. Johnny says Matt Stafford is real. I love Matt Stafford. If you've listened to my show for any period of time, you know how much I love Matt Stafford. He's one of my favorite players ever. And I think he's one of the most underrated quarterbacks ever. And it's just for the Jets. I don't know. I have to look into it a little bit more, but Rick, the more you talk about it, the more I kind of like it. I think
you just have to think about what you're giving up.
Right, exactly.
You can give up a lot less to get him.
It's not about the quarterback. Oh God, going to the Jets, they need a whole team, and they need a good coach. They
got one now.
Yeah, they need a good coach.
Yeah,
right? We got one. All gas, no break. That's what we needed. That was what we needed. And we don't need a whole team. The Jets have so much more talent than a lot of people give them credit for on both sides of the ball. Right, this offensive line was in the upper half last year. Right. Certainly at left tackle and at right tackle.
Yeah.
We need some interior offensive linemen, but that's easier to figure out. There's a few different situations there. You can draft one. Those offenses, we have guys.
Right.
Our defense has a lot of young talent, and I think we'll get a guy in there with like Richard Sherman. And I think we will absolutely get Richard Sherman because of Saleh. And he develops guys you saw last year with the Niners.
This is why I think don't kill yourself and give up the don't as Blake would say, don't give up the cheeks to just to get this guy. Don't do it.
Right. No, absolutely not.
There's
And
a comment by Johnny Dean
yeah,
down here that
okay,
I
yeah.
didn't
Here,
I want to
Mr. Glass
comment.
Pepper. Yeah,
No,
that's
keep going. By
which,
Johnny Dean.
here we go. This
Yeah.
one, Rick
Ricky
Hughes.
was to leave Rodgers alone. His contract will run out right about the time the Bucks are looking
Oh
again.
God, I
Listen,
can't wait for
I
that one.
don't want him. He's lost 4, count them, 4 in a row NFC Championship games. He's lost 5. I don't want him. Okay, he's proven he is a consistent, just short of a champion. So, yeah, I don't want that. Thank you.
Oh God. You're gonna have a superstar come into the NFL, Trevor Lawrence, and be the best damn quarterback ever seen, and teams are going to wish they had somebody like that in their system.
That could be. It
Sure,
could happen.
I'd love for Trevor Lawrence to come in and light it up. I listen. Just because he's not coming to the Jets doesn't make me dislike Trevor Lawrence, right?
Right.
I still like him, right? If he succeeds in Jacksonville, that doesn't affect me at all, right? Oh, what, they're in the AFC? I don't care. If he's great, sure, it's gonna suck we didn't get him, but it would be, there's gonna be the whole thing where it's, oh well, Trevor Lawrence wouldn't be Trevor Lawrence if he wasn't in Jacksonville. We're gonna hear that in if he's really that good, because whatever, because we always hear that, and then we were like, oh well, Tom Brady wouldn't be Tom Brady if he wasn't in New England, and then
yeah. Oops.
Jets have a good coach. Yes, they do. Johnny says Brian Pearson can't name a player on the Jets.
Brian Pearson is right now Googling.
Yes.
Jeteth. That's it.
Jet. Oh God. All right. Here's what I'm gonna do, guys. I'm gonna paste this in the chat for now. The StreamYard link. Feel free to join. Talk to us for the next 5 minutes. We have a few minutes left on this show. I'd love to talk to anybody who has any questions for me or Rick. We'll get through some of these comments while we're waiting. Rick Hughes, you blaming him for not going for it instead of kicking the field goal? I think Rodgers has suffered the coaching curse.
No, hold on. I want to bring up something about this. This is Jacob. I'm looking forward to you and I having this conversation.
Okay.
About that kick that everybody is making such a massive deal out of. Mm-hmm. It wasn't the worst call in the world. First of all, the Packers got the ball twice after that. Not once, twice. What if they'd kicked a field goal on both of those possessions? They win the game. Okay. Instead, they went 3 and out on both of those possessions. Why? This defense. Okay. So he basically all he did was put faith and say, you're either going to kick a field goal twice or you're going to get a touchdown once and we're going to win the game, instead of just going for a tie. Okay. Everybody's not realizing they had 2 possessions after that.
I can't. I don't know. You have the MVP on playing quarterback for the team, and you have Devontae Adams, you have Tanyan, you have Lazard, you have MVS. Like, you can't, with Tom Brady on the other side of the ball, you can't be kicking the field goal there. And I understand the analytics, but you look at it from a game perspective, and you look at it from an historical perspective. You can't give the ball back to Tom Brady like that. With
you have 4 timeouts. Your defense is going to have to it's going to have to stop Brady, because if you go in and score that touchdown, you're saying, okay, we go in and score this touchdown, the defense has to stop Brady.
Yeah.
Right? If you kick the field goal, what are you saying? The defense has to stop Brady. Either way, the defense has to stop Brady.
You have to do less if the game is tied, because you can only get to a certain point, right? If that call happened at the end of the game for the Packers, that pass interference or whatever, it's just another first down. You still aren't in field goal range. You still can't do that. And you have Aaron Rodgers on the other side of the ball. Like, I just can't understand if you have faith in your defense, you have faith in your offense, you can't do that. You can't do it.
Unless they were saying we have faith in our defense and our offense because I have faith that we're going to stop them, and then we've got Aaron Rodgers, the MVP. He's going to go down and score, and then we win instead of tie. I get. I'm just saying this. I'm not saying that was the right call. Mm-hmm. I'm saying that was not nearly the bad call everybody is acting like it is.
That wasn't throwing it at the 1 yard.
surprising, but it was not nearly as bad of a call as everybody's making it sound like.
Yes. Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, we'll agree to disagree here because this is not. I agree. It wasn't throwing it at the 1 yard line, but
Right.
it certainly wasn't a good call. No.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, let's get through. All right. So next year you'll make the playoffs against Tampa Bay. They have the easiest schedule in the NFL. I don't care. I don't want to hear that. Right. We'll have the same conversation. And it's not the Steelers. We're going to hear the Steelers conversation where, they're not. They have the easiest schedule. We're not going to win a playoff game. You don't have Ben Roethlisberger who can't win a playoff game, or Mike Tomlin. You have Tom Brady again. So
the easiest schedule. They're playing Buffalo.
I don't think that's statistically true in the slightest.
Right. They're playing Buffalo. They're playing the Saints twice. So
all serious. Oh, this is even better one. All serious. If you guys didn't have Tom Brady and you use your second string quarterback as your starter, do you think they would be in the Super Bowl today? Ask Tampa Bay Ray. I would love to hear him talk about that.
I'll answer this.
No.
The answer is no.
You wouldn't be in.
No.
All right, wait, I'm gonna get Johnny in here just for a second because I certainly want to hear him. All right, Johnny, what's going on, man?
Wow, that last comment by Pearson. What? It made me forget to yell at Rick.
Yeah. You got my whole show. You can do that later.
Right.
Go ahead. Take on Brian's comment there because that deserves it.
I love when somebody says something like that. And did they at any point just put their second string quarterback against us?
Yeah, they did.
Oh yeah, they almost won that game, didn't they?
No, they won the game.
Oh wait, they did win that game. Jeez. Well, Brian, I guess you're right there. You should use your second string quarterback all the time. Don't use your stars, Brian. So
Don't use the best player.
I guess we should put Blaine Gabbert up against Mahomes next.
I got a great question for Brian. Brian, if you took your first string quarterback off the field, would you be in the Super Bowl?
Maybe a better chance.
From what we saw,
I'm just asking the same question he asked me.
Exactly.
Oh my God, that's a fair question to be honest. Go for it on fourth. We'll talk about the reason why Johnny hopped in here to yell at you, Rick. Go for it on fourth. You fail, you pin at the 1 or 2. Use your timeouts. Different story. Brady was not playing well at that point. Okay. Oh,
here's the point. You get down to the 2 yard line, you have much better chance of getting a touchdown then, and then getting into field goal range on the next.
They weren't on the 2. They were on the 8.
You're on the 8.
Well, 8 yard line, whatever. It don't matter. You get within that area, you're much better off going for the touchdown and getting the field goal as the secondary option. And this came from the Green Bay Packers coach herself. He said he screwed up.
Well, no, he said
in hindsight.
He said in hindsight, because it didn't work, sure, I would have liked to have made the other call. That's what he said. If it worked, he would have said, I'm the friggin' genius. Y'all are idiots. So, I mean,
yeah.
I mean, that's how that works. So
I just want to get this one last Brian comment in here because this is great. Why do you think your second string quarterback wouldn't win you a Super Bowl when the Philadelphia Eagles had their second string quarterback? They won the Super Bowl. I would.
Listen, Brian, let me answer this straight up to you. Your first string quarterback didn't even get you to the NFC Championship game. Okay. Most teams need a first string quarterback on the field to go to and win the Super Bowl.
Yes.
That's all.
I know of 2 second string quarterbacks that won a Super Bowl, and that would be Foles and Doug Williams. Who else?
I can't think of another one.
I really
can't.
think it's a silly question. It's a silly question when his team's first stringer didn't even get them into the NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I can say is maybe your second string might have gotten you there because your first string sure didn't. So,
and this is interesting too. This is an interesting question. This is what we'll wrap up with. What do you think the Bucs would have done in the same situation? They would have gone for it. There was no way they wouldn't have gone. That's
no risk it, no biscuit, coach. Sure. Yeah, they would have gone for it, no doubt.
That's
absolutely.
And look what they did at the end of the first half. Question answered. They went for it when they were 60 yards away.
Yeah.
Jacob, I got to come on here one day when you're doing more draft stuff.
Yes.
Because
Probably next week.
I started breaking down draft right after the game, and like I said on Rick's show the other day, I was like, that's when I realized, wow, we're in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about the draft right now.
I started looking at the 30th and 31st picks and stuff.
Right.
You'll be walking the plank if you do that on my show. Not this week.
Oh my God! Here's Johnny. It'll probably be the week after the Tuesday after the Super Bowl is when we'll probably be talking draft. So come on then, and we're gonna
we can talk draft.
We'll be breaking down everything draft that week because I mean, listen, that's what we'll start doing. It's gonna be a lot of fun because there is no off season in football. Nope. There is a not playing season, and that's there's a not playing.
I'm trying to see Watson go to the Jets. I want that entire division to be competitive, like. And then
everybody but the Patriots.
Bill Belichick at the bottom of the division, you know.
I just wanted to. I mean, the more time goes by, the more you go. It was Brady.
Oh, okay. Two more. If your team wins the Super Bowl, I want to see all you guys wearing Super Bowl championship shirts on your show. That's what real fans do. Guess what? I'm not even a Bucs fan, and I'll be in a Super Bowl championship shirt.
We're not even. You know what? We try to be somewhat like media objective, right? We do attempt to. I trust me. I got a bunch of. I got no shortage. Okay.
How long have you followed the Saints, man?
Yeah, honestly, probably not a lot. Probably
because I watched the game where the Saints gave us our first victory.
How come Brian Pearson was in a Philadelphia Phillies shirt and not a Saints jersey when he came on?
There's no, there's no reason for it. No risk it, no grouper, Sammy. All right, I'm gonna get you guys out of here because I'm gonna wrap this thing up because it's 8:00. Johnny, thanks so much for joining me. Go ahead, because you write. Tell us where we can find your stuff.
You can find me at What's Happening Sports and Entertainment page. That's it. And here.
All right, Johnny. I'll talk to you
guys later. Bye.
All right, peace, man.
See you later.
All right, Rick. Go ahead, promote yourself. Tell us where we can find you as well.
1 hour right here. 1 hour from now on Bucks Report. We will be live with What's Cooking in the South. It's What's Cooking in the Super Bowl. That I think covers it all. Hopefully, you'll be able to stop by.
Yes, I'll try my best, Rick. All right, thanks so much for joining me, man. I appreciate it.
You got it. Have a great night.
All right, you too. Yes, and with that, we are going to wrap today from the Hard Count Football Podcast Live. My name is Jacob Charnow, and thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today. Special thanks to Rick Hughes for coming on the show tonight and to Johnny Dean, the professor. Be sure to go check them out everywhere. Be sure to go follow me on Twitter at Jacob Charnow, Instagram at Hard Count Football, and on TikTok at Hard Count Football as well. And like always, remember to check out the Hard Count Football Podcast Live every single week on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern right here on the Hard Count Football YouTube channel and now on Bucks Report. So make sure to go check out other videos from Hard Count Football and subscribe.